Coming Down is proudly sponsored by Colorado Ganja Gear, high-quality, artistically inspired herb grinders. So let me tell you, these things are great. I actually own one. My favorite part is the perfect consistency you get after grinding. Some grinders just pulverize your herb into dust, but the razor-sharp teeth and smooth action on these always leave you with perfect, fluffy, evenly ground herb. The craftsmanship is top-notch, made from aircraft-grade aluminum to guarantee you won't get metal shavings mixed into your herb. But the best part, truly, is each grinder features original artwork created by Colorado artist Lori Beatty. She creates unique mandalas that are laser-etched into each magnetic lid. And each grinder comes in a silk bag and has free shipping. So just go to etsy.com/shop/Colorado Ganja Gear and enter the code Coming Down in all caps for $5 off, or go to the show notes for this episode and follow the link. Thanks and enjoy the episode. Hello, friends. Welcome to Coming Down. My name's Nathan. I'm sitting here with Matthew.
Hey, everybody.
All right, so we're not going to spend too much time dilly-dallying today. First off, I just want to apologize to everyone for getting the episode out late last week. We have yet to be late, though it was still on Thursday. so we promised it Thursday, and it was still Thursday, but we know some of you like to listen to it in the morning and stuff, so a little pull behind the curtain. We actually hit our data cap for our hosting, and so that means we've done some longer episodes.
Yeah.
Which, thank you for continuing to listen as the episodes get longer. But yeah, so we had to upgrade our hosting to be able to host more per month. But we did that, and we're ready to roll. So we should be on time from here on out, and we've got some fun ones coming up for you.
Oh, yeah.
Not going to say too much about this week. It's just a fun little anecdote from my past.
Ugh.
And
fun.
yeah, it's fun in retrospect. We all laughed about it very nearly after the fact, and now I get to really laugh about it. But I won't say much more about it. What we really want to talk about is, by the time you're hearing this, we have new Patreon rewards. So the way that breaks down is we still have the $1 tier. That gets you a shout out on the website and on Twitter and on the episode. And it will also get you a little button set that we'll mail out. As well as access to all of our premium content, so all the bonus episodes that we record, you'll get access to that stuff. If you want to do the $3 tier that we're calling Feelin' It, that's going to get you all the same stuff from above, as well as a sticker set. If you want to do a $5 contribution that we call the Heroic Dose, that'll get you all that same stuff from above, as well as a coaster set to set your cold beverages on while you listen to this podcast. And then we're going to do the $10 tier, which is the 10 strip. So if you really love us that much, you'll get a shirt and then all of that previous stuff. So, and the shirts are going to be locally produced and screen printed. They're going to be badass.
Absolutely.
Some of this stuff is still in production, so I promise we will get it out to you as soon as possible, but it could take, I don't know, a month or somewhere in there to actually get it all mailed out and everything. Some of it's in my hands, some of it's still in production. So
right, and with shipping and everything, it's going to take a little while for everything to come out right.
Yep, totally. And to be totally honest, I don't actually know how this works, so either look in your inbox for an email. Like if you already qualify for any of these tiers, I think just look in your inbox for an email that will request a shipping address. And if you don't hear from us, just get at us, email us or tweet at us, and we'll make sure to get you taken care of.
For sure.
And we have one $4.20 contributor, and I would hate to make them go up to $5 if they want the coaster set. So I think for Christopher, we'll hook you up. Anyone else, if you want to do $4.20, look, we'll hook you up. So
we don't mind.
Yeah,
still worth a coaster.
Yep, totally. So yeah, and then as well as all of that, the second hypothetical episode, which is a bonus episode only for the patrons, will be out by the time you're hearing this.
Can't wait.
And this one's as good, if not better, than the last one. We keep having fun with doing this format. So, and who knows, maybe this will just turn into a real show because
Yeah, I'm digging it.
Yeah, we've got Shelby as kind of a permanent co-host for this particular thing, and it's just been a blast.
Apparently she's been enjoying our nonsense too.
Yep, for real. So that's that, and then I guess we'll just do the rest of the housekeeping and get everyone on their way. Like I said, you can get at us at Twitter. So, no, I got to say this too. So, with our upgraded hosting, we now get advanced metrics. So, I can actually see where a lot of these listens are coming from. And a majority of them are from America, and, you know, they're people that we know. But we've got like a couple random ones from Australia and New Zealand. We've got a handful from Canada, a few from the UK, Mexico. Yeah, so it's really kind of interesting. So if you are one of our international listeners, please get at us. I'd like to know who you are, because
me too.
Like I said, I think we kind of can account for a lot of our listeners, but I'm interested in who out there is checking us out. So
right. Get at us.
Yeah, totally. So, yeah, Twitter, @ComingDownPod, or shoot us an email, comingdownpod@gmail.com. It's the best way to get a hold of us, especially if you want to be on the show. And then check out our website, comingdownpod.com. That's going to have all the links and show notes. That's the landing page. That'll get you everywhere you need to go. That'll also point you to where you can listen. That's going to be things like Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud, Google Music, Apple, and then if you feel like leaving a rate and review on Stitcher, we'd love to see that stuff. But yeah, I think that's it, man.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. The brown sugar.
Oh yeah.
Can I grab one of those?
If you grab me one, yeah.
I will do that.
Thank you.
I can't help it. I'm sorry.
No, you know it's.
I said yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah. Woo! Okay, now I'm done.
Do you know the original lyrics of that song?
No.
It's not brown sugar.
What is it?
Well, think about what the song's really about, right?
I mean, it's been a minute since.
Oh, I thought you were getting brown sugar.
Whoa. Yep.
I did the same thing earlier.
Yep. Hey, there we go.
So yeah, the original lyric is black pussy.
Black pussy. Really?
Yep. That's what the song's about.
Huh.
I don't know if I buy that, man. I don't know if I buy that. I would like to
I
see...
should probably actually look that up before I start telling more people that, to be perfectly honest. But some old timers who have been around long enough to know told me that. However,
all right.
they've also been around long enough to maybe troll me on that. So
who did the original?
Rolling Stones.
Oh.
But
and
the
those
song is about fucking black women.
Oh, well, yeah.
So, I mean, it's not too much of a stretch. It's just whether or not that's actually true is
it's like what
another thing
they're saying is like that was the original lyrics, but like it wasn't flying on the radio, so they just changed it to brown sugar and everyone knows it is brown sugar.
I mean,
now.
I'd buy it because...
Is what he's saying.
That's exactly what
Rolling Stones, like, they had all those demos, like the Cocksucker Blues demos and stuff, and,
right.
I mean, yeah, they were a pretty raunchy band and then had to scale it back.
Black pussy?
And that's...
Was pussy more or less acceptable back in the day?
It was not acceptable.
It's so less acceptable.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still not acceptable, but I mean, like...
Oh, then...
As, like, just a crass term, like, even if you're, like, fucking around with your buddies, like... Was pussy a word you used back in the, like, 70s? Or would that have been, like,
If you were a cool dude, that's all that you said back in the day. Like, that was
what you called...
That was people said for...
So that was the word for, like, the slang word for, like...
Yeah.
Getting chicks is, like, it was pussy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if there was a different one that they used.
I mean, certainly in the 70s, I don't know about 60s, but...
I don't know either, but definitely in the
70s.
70s.
Minge. I don't know. All right. So, all right. This one's pretty funny. I'll set the stage. So this is, man. So this is like 2002 or 3, probably.
Okay.
I'm not exactly positive, but that had to have made sense. So
you're like 20?
Okay, so I'm 22.
Okay.
Yeah, because let's see. Yeah, 22. And this is relevant because this was like a year or two after 9/11.
Right.
And much like kind of the spot we're in right now, things were pretty contentious.
It was pretty draconian at that point.
Yeah, people didn't very much like the president or that party's politics. There's a lot of division in the country, and then 9/11 happened, and there was even more sort of.
Well, in 2002, we'd already mobilized for war at that point, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, I believe it only took them about a year before they declared war, and so things were pretty tense in the nation again, much like they are now. Yeah. So that's relevant to this story.
Oh boy.
So at this point, I am in a band with. I think I lived in a house. Oh my god, I'm mumbling through all this. Okay.
You lived in
I lived in a house, I was in a band.
Tell me more!
Surprising. My early 20s. So we lived in the Cook Street house. I believe we were in Hobbstown. I think that was our functioning band, and we were playing around pretty regularly. My Uncle Jim is a musician, and he had actually moved back to Fort Collins for a little while. Well, he was living in Fort Collins and then was living just outside of Fort Collins in this town called Ault.
Fort Collins.
A-U-L-T, Ault, Colorado.
Oh, got it. Okay.
And this place is horrible because it's a tiny little just one street town, and Ault stands for a unique little town. It's a fucking acronym.
Shut the fuck up.
It's the fucking worst place. And
I hate it.
Yeah. Oh, everyone hates it. Ault is the worst. So sorry, Ault fans, but your town sucks.
Yeah.
And pretty much there's nothing there, and it's almost like a suburb of Greeley, and like Greeley's already Greeley.
Greeley's like the sister city, right?
To Fort Collins.
Yeah, kind of like Redmond is to Bend.
Well, it's like Fort Collins and Loveland, and then Greeley's kind of the like the redheaded stepchild.
Right, it's the parasite.
Yeah,
exactly.
Totally.
Like the Vancouver to Portland.
It's the place that smells awful because there's the meat packing plant out
God
there,
damn it.
And when the wind blows right, you're and it smells like shit in Fort Collins. Everyone's like, Greeley.
Jesus. So it's Shelbyville.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. Pawnee.
Yeah, it is. So Alt's even worse. Point being,
if it could get worse, it's Ault.
So my uncle is a musician. He's played forever, and he mostly plays like old man blues, and he'll just get guys together and they'll do like blues jams and covers and stuff. And so this one night he got this gig together out in Ault at the VFW.
All right.
Post whatever.
Yeah.
And they didn't have a PA, and so he asked if we could bring our PA out, and so we volunteered. And so it was me and my friend Joe, and I think my friend Pat came out there, and maybe a few other friends we had all came out there, and it was super fun. So he had just got a collection of musicians together, and people were just kind of rotating on stage. Like, I even hopped up and played drums on a few songs, and they had some timbales, and I got up and played timbales, and we just jammed blues and did covers for all the old Ault people at the VFW, and
nice.
It wasn't really our scene, but it was cool, and
That's cool.
We had a pretty good time, actually.
For those who don't know, what's a timbale?
Okay, so it's basically a really tightly wound drum, so the head's pulled super tight, and I'm trying to even think the music they use it in. It's usually in salsa music, and it's got that blah, 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 blah sound to it.
Is it like a standing drum? Is it when you put between your knees?
Yeah, it's a standing drum. You play it with sticks.
Got it. Okay.
You can actually take a snare drum and take the snare off and just pull it super tight, and you've basically got a timbale. But then a set is usually I think 2. And there's just super high pitched loud drums, and they're using a lot of Latin music, but you can throw them into anything. Timbales are rad.
Awesome.
Yeah, so anyhow, we had this super fun jam session. Everyone had a really good time. And the night was over, the music was over, and we had packed up all our gear, and we put the PA in my friend Joe's truck, and he had kind of pulled up to the front, and then everything was ready to go, and we were just smoking one last cig while everyone was finishing drinks, and we were going to get out of there. And there's these 2 kids out there, and it was weird too, because it was definitely an old man bar, just tons of old people there. But then there was this couple, and they were our age. They were in their early 20s, and they were just chatting us up about music and stuff, and said they really liked the music that evening and everything. And yeah, they were just super friendly. And they were asking us about our band. It was like, oh yeah, we have our own band of, you know, we do like cheesy rock and roll or whatever. And so they were asking us about that. And then it was so weird because they were being so cool and asking us all these questions like, oh, like, what do you guys want to do with your music? And like, where do you see yourself going and everything? They were just being really friendly and engaging, and we were having this great conversation. And that's when, and again, this is where the time and place sort of comes up.
That was just actually what was in my head. I'm like, okay, bringing it back around to fucking George Bush. How is this going to get weird?
Well, and so much kind of like my attitude right now, I would very much like to not live in America. And so we brought that up. We were like, well, honestly, we've kind of been talking about trying to like move to Europe and see if we can't take our music elsewhere. And then you could just feel the mood change.
Oh, man.
And it was subtle at first, but then they just were like, oh, you don't want to live in America? So, but we knew where this was going, right? And so we were playing it very light. We were like, oh no, it's just that, you know, Europe has a really cool music scene, and, you know, things just seem a little crazy here right now. And they're like, oh, so, you know, you don't approve of the president and stuff? And we were just like, I mean, you know, not really, you know, don't really like some of his policies, but, you know, and we were just treading so lightly of just like, but, you know, that's neither here nor there. Like, we have our opinions, but we don't really feel like talking about it. And then they're like, and then things really shifted, and they're like, oh, so what, you like Clinton?
Oh, no.
Yeah. And we're just like, well, not really, honestly. Like, we don't, you know, not really either. Like, he was kind of a shit too. So
wow.
And so then things just kept escalating from there, and they just started getting really aggressive and being like, well, if you don't like it, then why don't you just leave? And we're like, well, you know, we're thinking about it, and
yeah, on that's my fair. Way actually.
Yeah, and that's fair. And then they're like, yeah, no, like, why don't you just leave right now? And we were like, okay, I think it is our cue. And so, like, I look at Joe, I'm like, all right, it's time to go, right? And the guy of this couple, like, stands up and gets in Joe's face. And again, we are not pushing them at all. We're trying to tread so lightly and just walk away from this whole situation.
Yeah.
But they just turn on a dime, and he gets up in Joe's face, and he's like, no, you better go. And Joe's like, okay, man, like, I just have to grab my friend inside and we'll get out of here. And then I said the same thing. I was like, yep, let me just grab my girlfriend. You guys have a nice night. And he's like, no, now. And
what?
Yeah. And it was just like, okay, dude, like, just relax.
Holy shit.
And so we kind of told him to, like, chill out for just a second, and he did not. And he shoved my friend Joe.
No way.
And knocked him to the ground, and his glasses flew off and flew out into the road. And so I kind of like jump up in front of this guy, and he's double my size, and I'm not a fighter, so this was an idiotic move.
Still though, I mean, you're protecting your
But friend. Yeah, like, I had to like jump in, and so I was like, hey man, you need to seriously chill out, because like, we're leaving, we have no issue with you. I don't know where things went wrong, but like, just relax. And he's getting all aggressive with me and puffing out his chest and stuff.
Oh
Joe
God.
Gets his glasses. I look at Joe, I was like, dude, just hit the road. I'll go grab Pat. I'll go grab my girlfriend. We'll see you back at the house. And he's like, cool. And pretty sure he either ran back in the bar to get Pat or hopped in his truck and took off. I can't remember kind of where it happened there, because things were escalating very quickly at this point. And so I was just like, and so I tell the guy, I was like, hey, like, we're gone, dude, just, it's fine. And so I turn around to leave, and as I'm walking down the street, because I was going to go around the other door, there's like 2 doors, and we were right outside the front, but I was like, you know what, I'm actually going to go maybe start my car, then run inside and tell people what's going on. And so then as I'm walking away, his girlfriend, who hadn't really said anything during this whole like major escalation moment, She gets up and she was like, yeah, get the fuck out of here.
Oh my God.
And I was like, okay, I'm not going to say anything. And she was like, get the fuck out of our town. I was like, cool. And then she's like, and get the fuck out of our country. And I was like, man, you know what? Like, I'm not a fucking super patriot, but I do like America, and I like the good parts of it, and I don't like our political atmosphere now, and I didn't like it then, but that moment, I made a decision, and it wasn't a wise decision.
Oh, no.
In fact, it's probably one of the stupidest things I've ever done.
Oh, boy.
But I turned around and said these words. With 2 middle fingers extended, I said, suck my fucking dick, bitch.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and that didn't go over well. And so dude immediately starts rushing me, and I run into the bar. And, and look, I'm not an aggressive person. I don't say shit like that, but I couldn't take it anymore. I was like, fuck these people so hard, man. They push me, and they push me, and they push me.
Yeah.
So I run into the bar, because my girlfriend's still in there. And other friends, and my uncle. And I run in there, and I was like, some shit has gone down. New shit has come to light.
New shit has come to light.
And we can't be here anymore, so it is time to go. And, you know, she's like, oh, I have a drink. I was like, no, put it down. No. Like, it is time to go.
Yeah, I will buy you a drink another time. We gotta go.
Yeah. See my uncle. I was like, thanks for the good time. We gotta go. He's like, what's going on? And, you know, so I grab her. We come out the backside, run over to my car. Now, for those who've been following along, this is my car that doesn't have reverse. So we hop in my car. I was like, we have to go. And so, and so we open the doors, stick our feet out, and I throw it in neutral and start kicking it out of the parking spot. And as I'm doing that, I hear all of this noise. And so in that moment, while I was gone, that guy had called all of his friends.
Oh, no.
Who lived in Ault. Some of which may have already been in the bar, some of which lived close by, and it's a tiny town, so it took them no time at all to get there.
Yeah.
And I look out the passenger window, and I see a crowd of people walking towards my car.
Robber.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, we gotta go. And so we're like kicking the car like extra fast, and she's like, what's going on? And I'm like, we just gotta go. I'll explain. And so I get the car, we get it pulled out. Literally, like, we shut the doors, but her window's open. The dude that had started all the shit with me, like, leaps halfway into the car.
No way.
And he's like, leaping over her, trying to punch me.
Oh my God.
She's like swatting at him. I'm with one arm, or like my left arm's on the steering wheel, my right hand's like punching back at him.
Oh my God.
And I throw it into gear and hit the road, and we take off out of this parking lot. And as I take off out of this parking lot, a dude with a crowbar hits the back of my car and puts a giant dent in my trunk. And I look in my rear view, and there is a mob of people, at least 5, maybe 8, maybe 10 people. At least one of them had a crowbar.
5 to 10 people, an angry mob.
Yeah, an angry mob. And and so I squeal out of that parking lot. Dude hits the back of my car with a crowbar, and I pull out onto the main strip, and we just take off.
Jesus, dude, this went from like Tenacious D to Jackie Chan in like no time at all.
Oh, dude, it was so ridiculous. I mean, so I literally got ran out of town by an angry mob. Like,
fucking ridiculous.
There might as well have been pitchforks and torches.
And all for saying you wanted to move to Europe.
Yeah, that's how it all started. And then,
get the fuck out of our town, you pinko communist fuck.
Yeah, pretty much. And
Jesus,
it was so insane because it just escalated so quickly, and it just turned on a dime. It went from really friendly conversation to all of a sudden like, well, what, you like Clinton? Like,
wait, you like Clinton?
Yeah.
Get a rope.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Oh man, it was so bizarre. And I mean, and we knew the territory we were in too, and that's why we were treading so lightly, and it was just so so weird that it just escalated so quickly.
You know, I mean, that's the story of my youth as well. Like, these cool little pockets of cool people who, like, have similar concepts of reality, and all of a sudden you run into the stark redneck reality of just where the fuck you are.
Right,
you know?
and Ault's, 10 miles outside of Fort Collins, and Fort Collins is a pretty cool liberal place, and then 10 miles outside of town, and all of a sudden it's like, yeah, get the rope, boys.
Right?
We got a Clinton lover here.
Gonna drag him behind the pickup.
Yeah, man. Dude, I don't even know what would have happened if they actually fucking grabbed me, man. Like, I would have got my ass beat, dude.
Yeah, man.
If not killed, I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah, that shit scares me more than anything. Like, I'd rather be mugged in an alley in the city than cornered by a bunch of fucking rednecks out in the middle of nowhere,
Yeah.
Any day of the week.
Yeah, it was fucking terrifying, man.
Right? At least when you get mugged in the city, you know that they just want your money and then they're gonna fucking go. But, like, with those lunatics, like, who fucking knows when they're gonna stop,
Oh, yeah, just starting a fight based on political beliefs and ideals and stuff.
Yes.
Like, whoo, man, what a hill to die on.
Right?
Fuck.
Oh, I'm glad you're okay, man. Fuck.
Yeah, man.
Could have gone wrong in a lot of ways.
Oh, it was gnarly, dude.
Well, and wait, like, were any of those people friends of your uncle, or were those just randos?
No, just randos. Just randos who were at the bar that night listening to the music. Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I talked to my uncle the next day and told him what happened. And he was like, what the fuck? Like, he had no idea. And he was like, yeah, I mean, everyone I know around here is cool. And
yeah, it's a unique little town until you mention you like Clinton.
Right?
And it's just like everywhere else. Fucking assholes.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. So, I mean, needless to say, I never went back to Ault. And will never probably go back to Ault. But
we should probably just nuke it from space at this point.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a fucking garbage pile anyway, man. They've nuked themselves at this point, so
fair.
But yeah, man, I don't know. I don't have too much more to say on it. I mean, that's kind of the story, but it's just so weird. I mean, I guess, like, cautionary tale, like, be careful what you say, even when you're walking that line, even when you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, I knew where we were and I knew the people we were talking to, and it was like, no, like, let's not bring this up.
I hate how fucking reality constantly, like, fucking proves that shitty rule about what you should avoid in conversation with strangers, but like, fucking small town idiots definitely cement that one.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, people just so vindictive in their beliefs and stuff. It's just,
imagine what they would have done if you'd brought up Jesus.
Well, they probably would have been stoked.
Oh.
I mean, right? That base typically likes Jesus, so that's
what I'm saying. If you told them that you didn't fucking love Jesus, they might have been just as mad,
Yeah, it's like, yeah, we're thinking about moving to Sweden to start our fucking orgy cult.
Yeah. Also, we love Satan.
With our Lord and Savior, Hillary Clinton.
My spine is pierced and I'm totally into Satan.
Totally. Oh, man. But yeah, I don't know. It was super sketchy.
Yeah. Well, scratch that off the list of places that I will ever go.
Yep.
Not going to Ault ever.
Yep. Nope. All right. Well, anyway, that's that. It's pretty short, but
yeah.